Who's your favorite women's basketball player?
Caitlin Clark.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't like Paige Bueckers?
Well, she's a...
Comparisons between Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark are heating up, and even Luka Doncic has joined the conversation. After leading her team to a March Madness victory and being selected first overall in the draft, expectations for Paige's rookie season are sky high. Some media voices argue that Paige is a more complete player than Caitlin, often pointing to her national championship as proof. Meanwhile, Caitlin's supporters counter with stats, ticket sales, and every possible metric to back her up. Things got even more intense after ESPN released its projected stats for Paige. We'll dive into that shortly. But basketball isn't just about popularity or scoring averages. Over the past few days, interviews and moments from both players have added fuel to the fire, stirring up debate and excitement on both sides once again.
I'm going to be honest. Paige Bueckers well and truly has given ammo to, the biggest Paige Bueckers haters.
But it was Paige's interview with Time magazine that sparked the most discussion. She was directly asked about the comparisons to Caitlin Clark. While some appreciated her answer, others believe it might reveal how this rivalry could unfold in the long run, especially when you place it side by side with Caitlin's comments shortly afterward. Let's take a closer look at what both players said, how people reacted, and the latest stat projections. But before we dive in, give this video a like if you're excited to finally see these two stars go head-to-head in Dallas, an NBA arena, thanks to Caitlin's impact.
So far, there's already statistical evidence, actual analytics, facts don't care about your feelings, showing that no, she is not moving the needle in women's sports or women's basketball nearly to the effect of Caitlin Clark.
I'm not here to give you another 30-minute stat comparison between Paige Bueckers and Caitlin Clark. You've seen that plenty of times already. Here's what really matters. Both Paige and Caitlin made an immediate impact when they first stepped onto the college court. They entered the NCAA at the same time, electrifying fans and dominating highlight reels. From day one, comparisons were inevitable. Not because they're the same player, but because they were both among the best, each following their own distinct path.
Two-man again was strong. The step-back three, and hits it! First half against Arkansas State. She's taken matters into her own hands here. Spins and hits her fifth. Bueckers left unattended. Money.
Paige was the shining star of UConn, the most successful program in women's college basketball, playing under the legendary Gino Orima. She lived up to the hype immediately, earning National Player of the Year honors as a freshman. After a few tough years battling injuries, she made a powerful comeback, leading her team to a national championship in 2025. Her journey is one of perseverance, talent, and ultimate redemption. So yes, Paige has certainly earned all the praise she's received. But Caitlin? That's on an entirely different level.
Take her look at this ballgame, looking to settle in. The screen, Clark needs no room. And I don't know. This team and the grit and the pride and the toughness that's Caitlin Clark knocks down a three.
Caitlin Clark didn't just guide Iowa to back-to-back national title games. She also shattered records along the way. She became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, not only in women's basketball, but across both men's and women's sports. That achievement alone placed her in a league of her own. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers spent an entire year recovering from a torn ACL, giving Caitlin a head start heading into the WNBA. And, as we all witnessed, Caitlin made the most of that opportunity.
Clark thought about pulling up from three, will tip inside and lay it in.
Caitlin coming off that 20-point performance right here, handling the physicality of Benaja Lane.
Clark, step back three, knocks it down.
Caitlin didn't just enter the WNBA. She made an unforgettable entrance. She transformed a lottery team into playoff contenders, set 62 WNBA records, led the league in assists, and quickly became the face of women's basketball. Her rookie season was nothing short of a cultural phenomenon. Now, the Paige versus Caitlin comparisons are back, and they're louder than ever.
He just calls it like he sees it right here. You see this, 18.9 million viewers. Paige Bueckers, 8.5 million viewers.
Both were selected as the number 1 overall pick. Caitlin to the Fever in 2024 and Paige to the Wings in 2025. However, Caitlin's draft shattered records, drawing 2.45 million viewers on ESPN, making it the most-watched WNBA draft in history. Paige's draft? It didn't even come close. From ratings to revenue to sheer attention, Caitlin has been in a league of her own from the start. And now, the conversation includes league executives weighing in.
With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select Paige Bueckers.
Behind the scenes, WNBA general managers have been open about their thoughts, though anonymously, of course. Multiple reports suggest that they believe Paige Bueckers has the potential to be a great player, with the possibility of becoming an all-star and maybe even a Hall of Famer one day. However, there's one point of consensus. She's not going to be Caitlin Clark. And now, we have the numbers to fuel the fire. ESPN recently released their rookie season projections for Paige, and let's just say, it's sparking a lot of conversation. They've got her averaging 16.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.1 assists, 1.8 steals, and 0.88 blocks per game, with shooting splits of 51% from the field and 82.2% from the free throw line. Let's be honest, those are impressive numbers for a rookie. Scoring over 16 points per game? That's not just promising. That's all-star territory. But, of course, when you compare those projections to Caitlin Clark's actual rookie stats, the difference becomes clear. Clark finished her rookie season with 19.2 points, 5.7 rebounds, 8.4 assists, 1.3 steals, and 0.7 blocks per game, shooting 41.7% from the field and an elite 90.6% from the free throw line. And she did all that while breaking 62 records and leading a last-place team to the playoffs. So while Paige's projected numbers are strong, Caitlin has already done it, and more. The bar has been set incredibly high. Now the question is, can Paige match it? Or is the gap between being great and generational talent simply that wide? The answer might lie in these recent interview soundbites. In a new interview with Time magazine, Paige finally addressed the ongoing comparisons to Caitlin Clark. That's what the media cares about, Bueckers said. That's what everybody who watches basketball cares about. I used to be bothered by it, but I've done so much work on myself and my approach. The ability to not run a race in comparison, but to run my own race and focus on that. Caitlin's a phenomenal player. We're also completely different players. While her response might seem measured, fans and analysts quickly picked up on it, fueling even more discussion.
It's really hard to impact the game as a rookie. One GM said, what Caitlin did last year was so special and unique. Paige is a special player. I think she'll be a good player this year, but I'm not expecting a Caitlin-like impact, and it's an unfair bar to set. Yes, obviously. And Paige Bueckers was talking about comparison, feels the comparison between herself and Clark are media-driven. She intends to focus on herself throughout her rookie year. They play the same position. They're the same age. I'm sorry. Yes, the comparisons are media-driven, but they're media-driven because you play the same position, you play the same, you are the same age, and you're saying, yeah, it's narrative-driven. But by that logic, LeBron versus Kobe debates in the 2000s were narrative-driven. Of course they were. Every debate is narrative-driven. Every debate is media-driven.
While it's true that Paige and Caitlin play different styles of basketball, let's not overlook the obvious. They play the same position. This isn't like comparing Caitlin to Angel Reese, where one is a defensive powerhouse and the other is hitting logo threes and setting up teammates. This is a direct point guard comparison. Same age, same role, and the same high expectations. That's why Paige's quote raised some eyebrows. Sure, it may have been diplomatic. Yes, it might have been honest. But let's be real, it didn't come across as the statement of a competitor ready to take over the league. Saying that the comparisons used to bother her doesn't exactly scream, "Give me the ball, I'm taking over." Instead, it sounds more like someone still navigating the pressure of the spotlight. Exactly the kind of spotlight that Caitlin Clark has fully embraced and now owns.
But ability only gets you so far. There's a reason why we've seen guards. There's a reason why Jordans, the Kobes, the LeBrons are the all-time greats. There's a reason for all that. And there's a reason why there are players that would have had similar ability to them in their teens and early 20s that were great, were really good, but were not that level.
It's true. The best players don't shy away when the spotlight hits. They lean into it. They don't avoid the comparisons or brush off the expectations. They own them because that's what greatness demands. And if there's one athlete who knows what it's like to carry the weight of the sport on her shoulders, it's Caitlin Clark.